Can't tell me nothing about this crypto. This O-Day, these forensics, strictly for my hackers. Hackers on the grind. I ain't forget all my port scanners, all my SQL injectors, my exploit devs.
Hello folks, welcome. It is another Wednesday, and it is Hack Alt NCOMMANDER time. So, for those who've seen the teasers, okay, OBS, there we go. This will probably look familiar. This is my ThinkPad for ADD. This is Microsoft Back Office Server, and these things are going to become one. So, it's going to be an interesting night. Let's just say that. So, I got a little bit of a late setup, so give me a chance while I get everything sorted. And I just realized that since I had to use a second camera, that is about the worst possible place I could put that. Let's try moving that up here. Stay. Okay, it's cockeyed, but at least it's not recording the back end of my microphone. So, you know what? I'll take that as a good thing. So, for those who aren't really familiar, Back Office Server was kind of Microsoft's all-in-one complete. It was the complete integrated server suite. And so this box has a lot of very neat things. It has Windows NT Server. It has Exchange, SQL Server, third-party application server. I'm distorting. Okay, hold on. My voice is my passport. Verify me. Okay. My audio settings have gone... OBS got very drunk, so I had to reset everything. So all the leveling is off. So hopefully that that clears that up. So yeah, there was a lot of 90s IBM goodness. This was the box that destroyed Novell NetWare. It's one of the later releases of Back Office. This is version 4. There was a 4.5, which really was kind of a minor update. There was Back Office 2000. And then the last one was Back Office Small Business Edition. So, this is probably at the pinnacle. I believe this is the U.S. release because it's got this wonderful sticker saying it's unlawful to export this software from outside the United States of Canada because of the... Well, who besides me remembers 128-bit encryption and all the wonderful things that went with it, and 40-bit? Back that office up. Neozed, it's interesting that you bring that up because there may in fact be Ditto drives coming at some point at a future Hack Alt NCOMMANDER. We are in fact going to break out the tape backup unit. In fact, we are going to break out the backup. If I get this out of the way, you can see my current restoration project actually in the background, which unfortunately the camera is not focusing on. That is my Intel Professional Workstation 486. I just released a video on the YouTubes about that thing, which I will actually drop the link to in chat. And this is a good time. So if you're interested in following me as a person, those are my socials, and as well as my YouTube channel. But this month, DEF CON 201 is currently raising money for Child's Play charity. Our goal is $300. We didn't hit our last goal because we started raising a little bit and we had some streaming mishaps. But we're fairly sure we're going to hit $300. And when we do, the suffering will happen and all the things are. Choromaru, I really hope I'm saying that right. I actually would love to do an entire video series talking about retro backup solutions. I've actually managed to restore floppy disk backups from 1984. It's the oldest ones I've done yet. So, but that's not the stream that we're doing tonight. So, I do think I should show the abomination that I currently have running on this ThinkPad. So, right now, on this screen... Oh, come on. Come back up. So, right now, Twitch is about to get meta because we are filming Twitch, filming Twitch, filming Twitch. But let's switch it to the other... See, I actually like this LCD, so even though it's a widescreen LCD, it actually lets me put letterboarding, and it does 4 free images very well. But I'm going to show the abomination that I have installed on this ThinkPad because we're wiping the hard drive tonight, obviously. So, okay, I have that on VGA. Let me back this up. Oh, come on. And I suddenly have to get used to streaming on one screen again. Back up. You'd think I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this. So I'm just going to turn this on. Oh, hold on. I got to put the PC card in. It actually will be very unhappy if I don't have this in. But I want chat to see the abomination I've committed on this machine. And there will be an entire special dedicated to this abomination at some point. Not today, probably not for the next few streams, but soon. So, okay, so that is booting up. Let's get this in a good position. Yeah, so you can see that the nice thing about this LCD is focus, is it's letterboxing. So I don't get the stupid aspect ratio you get when you run a lot. But chat, can you tell me what I'm looking at? And I'll give chat a hand in case they don't quite recognize it. Because I have done something horribly and unspeakable to this ThinkPad. And yes, it actually will in fact talk to the network. God, that focus is really horrible. Hold on. Let me fix this so the text is readable. I don't have a VGA capture card. I have been trying to get one, but COVID seems to have done horrible things for demand. And so what they want for a VGA capture card is insane. It's about the only word I can put for it. So yeah, we're doing I'm pointing a camera at a monitor. And it looks very clear here, and it looks like OBS is compressing it, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, it's 311. The amount of patching to get this to work, and you notice that there's an Ethernet. This laptop doesn't have built-in Ethernet. If we take a look at the boot messages, and specifically right here, someone implemented PC card interface drivers for this. I don't know what to think about this. Except this is an abomination, and we're going to burn it with fire. Let's see here. Probably because everyone has gone really into streaming. So Thunderbird, why the webcams and the capture cards have become so rare? I think it's pretty much because people are just getting into streaming. And I'm still just going to try and get the focus to resolve. Like I said, and there are days where this all decides to work. Like, I'm looking at it on my screen, and I'm looking at it in OBS, and it looks focused there, but I'm getting compression somewhere, and I'm not sure where. Yeah, see, so the thing with this card is that once it's initialized, it actually shows up as a generic NE2000 card, so it can actually work with just about anything, and in theory, it's going to work with Windows NT. So I'm kind of curious to see where this is going. So I say do we just kind of want to go for broke and are we going to install, or do we want to play with this system for a little bit? Let's see here. So down and exit. Let's quit back to DAWs. I actually need a boot disk because we're going to have to partition the hard drive, and I know from experience that the NT partitioner is going to have a hissy fit if it sees a NetWare partition. So hold on, I gotta get the boot disks. And that requires me to remember where I put the boot disks. Okay, so I got Kermit. Okay, it's not those boot disks. I'm gonna move the camera so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Because I am playing, where in my apartment did I put the goddamn DAWs floppies? I know they're here somewhere. They are probably in this, yep, there they are. They're in my bag of emergency stuff. So, here we go. Okay. Let's see here. So, yeah. So, but you know, I kind of like not using a capture card for the basic reason that you can kind of see what I'm doing. So at least for the time being, while we're doing installation, I'm just going to point the monitor at the screen. So we've got the DAWs 6311. So I'm just going to kind of nuke and pave the install that's on here, because I actually installed NetWare on here to see if it could be done. And, well, spoiler alert, yeah, it can be. So I do want to make a YouTube video out of it, but I'll start a new video from scratch. So, oh man, that brightness. This panel was high hours because I actually used this machine probably until the mid 2000s. So it's a very high hour panel. Yeah, it's DSTN. My friend Searcell has a bunch of ThinkPads with active matrix displays that I could technically swap out for the one that's on here, but I'm a little bit attached to the fact that this is a passive matrix because my very first computers were all passive matrix displays. So this really does the oh my god nostalgia factor thing. So right now we are going to do fdisk. And then we are going, you know what, we're going back to this. You're going to get used to me doing a little bit of camera work. This is completely new to me. So, yeah, if we do 4, you can see we have the, standard FAT16, that's the NetWare boot partition, and then we have the rest of it. So, cache G out. I mean, I have a compact flash adapter, which I kind of want to test with this laptop, but we'll do that at a later point. So partition 2 is, let's see, I forgot. Is this the one that lets, yes, okay, delete non-DAWs partition. Yes. Yes. And then delete primary, and this is going to make me type MS DAWs 6. Yes. That's gone. Create new primary partition. So, and yes. Okay, and then we just need to format it. Because I remember the NT partition being really, really picky. I've got the boot disks pre-made, and while we're going to actually, as soon as we get the format command going, because that's going to run for a bit, we're going to start looking through the box and at the variety of interesting bits in there. So, focus. There we go. There's probably too much ambient light in my apartment, which is why it's kind of having a fit. Do I want to do a quick format? Yeah, let's just do a quick format. The NT install will do a full one. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, it's going to do that, isn't it? Okay. Alright, so while that's formatting the hard drive, let's open the mystery box. We're going to open the mystery box. So I'm just going to bring Twitch chat back up. So this will probably take about 10 minutes if I remember this correctly. And there was a lot of things in this box. I'm just going to say this. The chat, just make sure, can you hear me? Because I'm a little far away from the mic. So very first off, we've got the free floppy disks of death, which these things are notorious because you kind of need Windows NT to make them officially, and if you don't, you're not getting anywhere really quickly. And you know what? Let me move the camera so it's in a better position. So we got the free floppy disks of death. Now, fortunately, the NTCD has utilities to make them if something goes wrong. Then we have a lot of jewel cases. Let me get them all out, and then we'll start going through them. So this is the quote-unquote... Hold on, let me make sure I've got the... Let me make sure I'm getting this in frame. Phone. There we go. So this is the back office one, which basically has all the major disks. The first one is Windows NT, and then the other ones are different components. There is an installation wizard that handles basically all of that, but yeah, there's a lot here. And this is just the base server package. So, yes. So, yeah, so we're going to need this because this has NT4 server. And this is actually modified. It's not identical to the vanilla NT4 server. It's NT Service Pack 1 and only has i386 and DEC Alpha support. It doesn't have the other architectures on it. So the next up is Visual InterDev. So, the Visual InterDev, this was I believe this one comes out of Visual Studio 5. It was basically a way of making ASP applications. So they basically pulled it out of Visual Studio and made it a standalone. Although I believe at the time almost all the Visual Studio stuff could be gone standalone. I'm going to move the camera angle so you can see what I'm doing a little better. Let's see here. Wait for it to click. Yeah, okay, that's better. So then I never figured out why they do this. They include just a basic copy of Outlook 97, and this is how it came. This version of Outlook 97 not only has Outlook, it also has the Microsoft mail client out for Outlook for Windows 3.1. I've never actually tried using it. It also, despite what the label says, or actually if I take the disk out, it does say it. Hold on. You can see it here. It's got Outlook for Exchange, and it also has Microsoft Mail and Macintosh. I had trouble downloading this disk because it's one of those stupid ones that have the Mac and the ISO stuff in weird forms. I had to try like 3 times to successfully get that to dump. And then we have this thing called Site Server, which is the powerful internet solution for empowers users to publish and find information quickly and easily. I don't know what that means. I have yet to figure out what this means. I was able to do it with actually DD. They didn't do it as a multi-track. They did a very weird thing that's called the Apple ISO 966 format. But I had to go through a lot of hoops to verify that it actually had read correctly. So, yeah. Now, I thought there were more CDs than that in this box. Oh, and this jewel case is broken. It came that way. And then I just want to show this for illustration. But if you ever need to crush a small animal, that'll do it. I actually think that's as thick, if not thicker, than my pile of NetWare manuals. We have System Management Server. We have SNA Server. We have Exchange. Hold on. Why am I doing it like this? I should do it like this. We have System Management Server. SNA Server. SNA is for integrating with mainframe systems. And once again, I need to back this up. I'm sorry. Oh. Camera. You can tell I'm a professional streamer. I know what I'm doing. SNA Server. Exchange. I believe it's 5 Exchange on this system, but I'm not 100% sure. The NT4 server install. Then they have the overall back office, because back office was actually meant as a turnkey, so there's some stuff that's unique to this. Site server, SQL server, and then we've gone the full yard. So that was the thing. It was really there was a lot in this box. It's a very, very heavy box. So, and then I'm not even taking out the registration card stuff. So this stuff is going back in the box until we need it. This box is so tightly packed, it's a little bit of a pain. Okay, so our format, while we were waiting, completed. So, anyone want to give suggestions for a disk label? We can change it later, but I figure chat integration is always a nice thing. Okay, come on, right there. Okay, that's good. So I'll call this NT4 for now, but if anyone's got a good name, I'd love to hear it. So we're formatted. I think we're ready to install. So I believe it is it's the 3 floppy disks of death time. So set up disk 1. And you go. 1 3-finger salute later. And there it goes. So that's NT4 booting up. God, I haven't seen the NT4 was the version I really remember more than anything. I really cut my teeth with 2000, but NT4 is kind of what I remember as the definitive Windows networking experience. So my plan right now for tonight is we're going to get NT4 installed. We're probably going to do the shenanigans and to get all the drivers installed, and then we'll probably do either SQL Server or Exchange or something to that nature. I'm not exactly sure what. Chat, I'm going to let you decide for me. So this part just takes a while because it's floppy disks. Okay, that's disk 1. And last time I used these disks, they were all good. So it should just be a matter of these 3 wise men. Because I actually have installed Windows NT on this laptop before, and it did work just fine. So fingers crossed. Because I will actually be using... So this system is actually going to be used... I unfortunately can't keep NT on this system for an extended period because I'm going to have to reinstall DAWs. But I don't actually mind installing operating systems. I find it strangely relaxing. But maybe that's just because there's something wrong with me because, yeah. So, fridge side quad socket backs back in high school. If it was quad socket, it was probably an alpha system. There were multiprocessor NT ones. I mean, this version of NT is actually multiprocessor. If you look the message on screen right now, since this is the blue screen boot up of Magic, and once I get the Intel Professional Workstation, which is kind of chilling in the back, working, we might even do a montage of going through every version of NT4, because that Professional Workstation is actually SCSI bust, which means it can run NT3.1. So yeah. So anyway, while we wait for things to load up and install, we are currently raising money for Child's Play charity. If you're currently watching us on Twitch, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the Tiffany app, and every little bit helps. We never see your credit card information or any things. It just goes straight to Child's Play. And Child's Play, I don't really know how much I need to organize them. They help children that are critical care in hospitals. Basically, that's the demographic they try and help. A lot of major gaming channels do it, and it's what we're doing for this month, after our fairly successful fundraiser for the Rain Network. So no, I Thunderbird, I completely understand. It is COVID era. People are going to be strapped for resources, but if you can do it, it's hugely appreciated. So, but please do not feel obligated to do so if you can't. So anyway, we've got the setup screen going, so it's now going to try and find the it's going to try and find this CD-ROM drive, and it should find the CD-ROM drive. If not, we are going to have to go with Plan B, and Plan B sucks. I'll be honest about that, but it does work. Because what Plan B does is we'll put the disk in, we will copy everything to the C drive, and then do what's called a Kickstart install. Because Windows will let you both install and read from the same drive. It's a pretty good trick for dealing with. There's actually a very cute, and I use the word cute here very loosely, bug that if you have to hit F6 to add a disk, on most versions of Windows NT, bad things happen if you do that. So, I don't think NT4 was available on floppy disk. I know 3.1 was, and I believe 4 technically could have been. The installer has code to do that, but I don't think they ever released NT4 on floppy disk, because most systems that would be running NT4 should have a CD-ROM drive. I mean, NT4 came out 96, so it did see the Adaptec disk. So let's do the enter. It's going to load the drivers. It's going to load NTFS. So when I was a kid, I had a Packard Bell desktop, hand-me-down, and I took a copy of Windows NT Workstation from my dad's workplace because I was young and adorable and I didn't understand the concept of buying software. So I used NT4 pretty extensively through that era because it was a lot more stable than Windows 95, 98, and 98 Second Edition. So I tend to remember more NT than I do 98 and 98 SE. It is you can't install to HPFS on this. In practice, there is a guy called NTDev on Twitter, I will not link to them, who has been working with the leaked NT source code, the XP link that was on 4chan. He managed to get Windows 10 to install onto HSPF. I'm just going to leave it at that. So now we need to put the NT4 server disk in, which is just disk 1 of the back office server package. And I'll put that up on screen. So there it is, disk 1. And then hopefully the optical drive in this thing is still working. I've had issues with the only part of the system that's not original is the CD-ROM drive. I had to replace it. And the replacement, I think, is from a slightly different model of ThinkPad. So every once in a while, it just decides it's not going to work. So this I remember. Oh, look at that. It's this one talks about version limitations. This is back when EULAs actually gave you both rights and not rights. God, and they do actually make you scroll through the whole bloody thing to get to the end. So yeah, okay, so I can hit F8 here. I do have the driver disk, but I don't want to do. I've learned don't do this during the early setup. We'll let it come up in a low resolution. Yeah, okay. Apparently I didn't need to do that. Yeah, you can delete that partition. Chat, do we want to... Do we want to go HSPS or not HSPS. NTFS or what have you. God, I hate dropping floppy disks. I always worry when you drop a floppy disk, all the bits are going to fall out. So, yeah. Pinball was available, so just catching up on chat. Pinball was available until Windows 2000. It was technically possible to install it on XP, but it had some problems. The thing is that they got Pinball to work with Windows 10. He did this by recompiling it from the source leak. So, yeah. Yeah. You know what, we're going for broke. We're going to install NTFS. So the formatting is going. The wheels on the format go round and round. I'm watching the stream on the other monitor, and the lag is kind of, so it wasn't licensed pinball. So NT31 supported HPFS directly out of the box, and that support was retained all the way through NT4. Pinball will actually get automatically installed on an upgrade install just for that purpose. You had to convert to NTFS when you went to Windows 2000. And Pinball originally came from Microsoft because Microsoft created HPFS for OS2 1.3 LAN Manager Edition. It was also available for 1.2, but was not all that common. And then from there, the joint licensing agreement between IBM and Microsoft, you know what? That's something we're going to actually do. We are actually going to play with the 16-bit OS2 support on this. Because you know what I just realized? We can do that. And in fact, if I had a copy of Visual C on hand, I'd even play with the PostX subsystem. So hold on, chat. We still got probably about half an hour before the install's done. Do we want to play with Visual Studio and the subsystems, or do we want to do NT networking stuff? Because frankly, I can do either. And I would have a good time with either. The other thing that we will be doing at some point, I don't know when, it probably will be early 2021, is we will be doing some Windows CE work on stream, because I just got a Windows CE handheld with a Super H processor. But I want to be able to do a video on that handheld before, so it's why it hasn't come out of the box on stream yet. So, HPFS 386 should be on the Microsoft. You have to install Microsoft 1.3 Server Edition, and then I believe you have to install LAN Manager on top of it, and it should be there. Yeah, it's not automatically enabled, but it is on the media. I also know, I think NeoZ could say for a fact, I believe Citrix, it's in Citrix multi-user. And we might even do a Citrix multi-user stream at some point. I am actually been tempted to try and see if we can get OS2 1.0 to install on this ThinkPad, because this ThinkPad technically has an IBM BIOS. It actually might work. Well, that was because HSPS 386 ran in Ring 3, and not Ring 3. It ran in Ring 0 and could also work from the virtual 8086 mode. So I would have to think that Citrix would include HSPS because it needs to have it, because Citrix adds access permissions. There's no way you could bolt fat extended attributes onto that easily. OS2 tried and it worked badly. So Citrix OS2 has to be using HSPS, and for the love of God, if they're doing multiple DAWs applications, it has to be using VDM. So it would have to be HSPS 386. I can't imagine why you wouldn't. So, yep. So apparently tonight's stream should be called watching format bars go by, because apparently that is what we do here at HACK ALT NCOMMANDER. We watch discs go spinning round and round and round and round. But I'm actually going to have to run CompSurf, and every NetWare admin in the channel probably went, "Oh God, why?" But I've got a SCSI hard drive I need to test the health on, and frankly, the stuff that works with SCSI hard drives under DAWs is between nil and zilch. Because SpinRite can't deal with them. Norn Diagnostics goes, ha ha ha, F you. But Novell NetWare's CompSurf can actually do a comprehensive defect check on a SCSI hard drive. So, yay. So far so good. We are definitely getting for the NT server. Last time I did this took about, once this step finishes, this will take about 20 to 25 minutes. I haven't decided if we're going to set this up as the domain controller, because back in these days, there was no DC promo. You had to choose if it was going to be a domain controller at installation time or not. But I am kind of happy. Okay, cool. So let's choose where the NT files are going. We are not doing that. I know the hard drive is good. I've recently done a comprehensive scan on this. So this machine, it's a Pentium 1, so in theory it should be able to run anything from NT351 all the way to XP, although it's below XP's minimum requirements. Its processor is a little bit too lethargic. Although it should still in theory work. I would just have to put a bigger hard drive in it. The biggest problem with this system is that its BIOS is not particularly good and is incredibly buggy, which really drives me a little bit crazy under DAWs. So right now, I do think we're going to do a stream where I set up Citrix multi-user, and then we'll set up the multi-user client on the ThinkPad. I would like to do an NT4 embedded stream. I am open to ideas here, folks. If you've got any good ideas, I want to hear them in chat. Because if nothing else, it helps for cases like this. Because I wasn't planning to stream tonight, and so I just looked at my bookcase and saying, I haven't talked about this on a stream before, so we're going to talk about this on a stream. So, okay. That is looking all good and shiny. I actually wonder how much of the hardware is going to... I need to find the graphics driver for this, but Well, the first thing I'm going to need is the Ethernet driver, because the I don't know about you, but I don't really want to be making floppy disks all night long to copy drivers over. Now, I believe I've got a disk with the Kingston drivers already on them. Yes, I do. So that should be okay. So this portion of the step is completed successfully. If there's a floppy disk, there isn't. So there we go. Reboot time. It is interesting that on the external LCD, the IBM really looks blurple. And yeah, that's the term I'm using. It really looks blurple. Good ideas really... Well, I'm okay with bad ideas because bad ideas are funny. This is how I'm going to end up probably installing NetWare and Oracle at some point. Oh, I forgot about this. So this version of NT did not format it NTFS. It's actually doing the conversion right here, right now. Oh man, I've completely forgot that this was a thing. I legitimately forgot that this was a thing. Okay. Well, time for a drink. It's the elixir of life. So the other thing I'm a little worried about is that early NT had, shall we say, some issues with Pentium processors and newer, and this is a later Pentium. Although it may not be as bad as like trying to do it on a Pentium Pro or a Pentium 2. So my general rule of this thing is thou shall install Service Pack 3, Service Pack SP6A pretty much immediately. Okay, so that's a good sign. We've got a desktop. Oracle on OS2. No, this will be Oracle on NetWare. Although you gave me an even worse idea. Because you can run NetWare on top of OS2, and you could technically install... Oracle in NetWare on top of OS2, and I want to cry. Okay, so man, these screens take me back. I almost feel like I should have done 95, but I don't actually have a box copy of 95. So NCommander DEFCON 201. That's fine. Oh, we'll do a per seat. So what are we going to call this machine? What are we going to call this machine? We'll call you, screw it. We're just going to go with ThinkPad. At some point, I'd like to do something with PDCs. I really would. I'm going to set it up as a PDC so I can show some of the utilities, but we're not going to do the specifics of that, so let's just set a password. I don't want a repair disk. God, I forgot what it doesn't install. So it doesn't install mouse pointers and stuff. God, it's been so long since I looked at this. We'll install the games because it's not a stream if I haven't done these sound effects. Oh man, everything in the 90s had sound effects. I don't want to keep pulling that up. I just want to install them all, and we'll also install messaging. So that's the full set. Although, what was what else has got there? Okay, so that's the details. So next, so this may complain. We are wired to network. I will let it install IIS. And this is going, okay, so now we gotta hope that this works. because this is an obnoxious part of the NT setup, is you have to have a network adapter on server or it really gets upset. Let's see if it can... frig. Is it NT4? There we go. Okay. And then we'll give it the trifecta. Do that. Do that. I get this wrong. System may not boot. We'll try the defaults. If there's a DHCP server on the network, TCP/IP can be configured to dynamically provide an IP address. That is it wanting to run a DHCP server, or is it... Okay, I'm just going to hit yes. YOLO! We are going YOLO. We are going full YOLO. Okay. So this is a good... So NT does not support plug and play. It was kind of what was a major problem for NT. Plug and play didn't come until 2000, and even then it had issues, and it's kind of putting it lightly. So let's see if this can actually boot. Okay. So I just saw it doing migrating WinSock, so that's a good sign. And the mod is awake. Oh, folks, can we please get a warm round of welcome to Mr. Pocket, who is currently backing my chat and will remind me to keep that we are raising money for Child's Play charity this month, and every little bit helps. Please only donate if you're in a good position to do so. And the NT server installation is going. So it is going to try and start the network. What do we want to call this domain? Let's call it Neo. Oh, he's going to kill me for this. I'm just going to note that the person behind this is going to kill me for this. And I don't care. So, let's see here. We could do Quake. We could definitely do Quake. Like I said, this is kind of an exploration thing. I am hoping to go back to weekly streaming for this channel. Who knows, maybe even twice a week, but although that is kind of pushing it. So, okay, so this is Internet Information Services 2.0, so we're going to install the full trifecta here. Yeah, we'll let it install that. We're even going to check out the built-in Gopher service. So what I'll probably end up doing is that if we end up doing more stuff with Windows NT, because I kind of would like to cover this all at some point, is I might make Ghost of this hard drive and then remove and reinstall it as need be. I've never actually used Ghost. Amazing. Well, let me finish that. I've never used Clonezilla. I've used Norn Ghost, and I don't have a burnt CD with it, annoyingly. So, yeah, but we're definitely getting there. The biggest problem is I'm not sure it's going to be able to handle the network card in this machine. You do not have a... it's fine. I don't care that we don't have a domain name. It's starting FTP up. Do we want to install SQL Server? Yeah, we'll just let it install the driver. Okay, so we're... interestingly, the fact of the matter is that the daylight savings has changed since this was made. Is it even... Oh, no, it is Y2... It's not complaining about Y2K. So, yeah, I know you're... Oh, it actually will let me go to a higher resolution test. Okay, so at least we can go to a higher resolution. All right, we'll take that. Because 800 by 600 is the native one. So, yeah, we'll take that. Actually, I am curious. Hold on, let me list all. I doubt that this... Okay, it can't be changed until after setup. That's fine. Okay. And then that's the second part of the installation. We could definitely get Nor and Ghost installed. I actually am sort of thinking that's not a bad idea. I don't know if I'll do it on stream, but that would let me take the hard drive out and swap it in and out for what I need. Although, like I said, I don't really mind sitting here doing the install steps. So, who knows? I do find it interesting that, you know, given the vintage, that the display mirroring, you can't see it, but if I turn the camera, you will. The display mirroring is on the ThinkPad, and it's here. I've just got the camera pointed at the bigger monitor because it looks a lot better than looking at the passive one. So, there we go. So, actually, hold on. I'm going to grab something to show the chat. Alright, I'm back. So, there was something I did actually get relatively recently off the eBays. Because, does this come with pinball? I just thought I saw pinball getting installed. Oh, pinball being installed would be really neat. So, I'm definitely lagging behind chat, though. I'm watching, and the lag factor is a bit high. Let me refresh Twitch and see if I'm actually that far behind. So that's doing security. Okay, so I'm actually not lagging that badly. I'm just drifting in stream. So this is the thing that I got relatively recently. I ordered this back in October and it just took forever. But this is supposedly it's a 16-bit PCMI, basically a compact flash, but it came with this 32 megabyte card, so I haven't really done anything with it yet. But you know what, we may just try it out just to see if it even works. Although it may not work under NT, because NT support for PCM-CIA is a little bit dodgy. This machine really wants to run Windows 95, although it will run other things. So, yep. Yes, there is no device manager. Okay, so NT4 has officially been installed. Let's do a restart. And I'm putting the disk back in its jewel case. Okay, actually, I'm going to turn this off for a second because I am actually going to put this adapter in, and I want to just see if it shows up. Even if it doesn't work, as long as it shows up, I know it's a 16-bit one. Because I don't even have an adapter for my PC for these type of cards. I mean, they're not hard to come by, I just don't have one. Okay. All right. That's in. So quite possible that's the first time I've ever had two PCM CIA cards. People can't remember computer industry acronyms. So, okay. NT4 is detecting hardware. So, yeah. Sorry. My brain just had a moment. So, okay, this is so far so good. It's booting off the hard drive. We'll probably get 800 by 600 with no colors. So this laptop, if I remember correctly, let's go to ThinkWiki. ThinkPad 3.6. That's a good sign. Display driver. Okay, so that is prompting for the 3-finger salute. So assuming okay. It's going to take a moment. Let's see. So I have a Samba share already on the network that this should be able to talk to. And here we go. Video driver for NT4. Oh, is this one of those stupid ones that are going to make me have to write a disk? Let's see here. Yeah, it's one of those stupid ones that's going to make me write a fracking disk. Oh, no, maybe not. This looks like a self-extracting zip archive. So, why is this stuck? This is not good. Why does it say login in progress? Why is it saying login in progress? Come on. Something's not happy. Something is definitely not happy. It's probably a DNS timeout of some sort. We'll see. I could run Wireshark, but the last time I ran Wireshark on a stream, I doxed myself. And I've only got the one screen tonight because you're looking at my second monitor. So let's see here. Oh, there it goes. It's just being obnoxiously slow. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. ThinkPad. The power of the ThinkPad compels you. The power of the ThinkPad compels you. Well, so 250. What happened was my IPv6 address leaked. It wasn't good. There we go. Oh man, there's a screen I haven't seen in a very long time. At least on real hardware. I've seen it in VMs. Welcome to Windows NT. So, if we're lucky, yeah, I'm just noticing that the view is a little bit cut off. If we are lucky, let's pull up command. Let's take a look here. So, it does see the Ethernet adapter. That is actually a very good place to be. Oh, look at that. It actually... What? Well, it sees the PCM CIA card. It just made it drive C. Why would you do that? But it's a good thing that this works. We'll eject the card and do something else with it later. Let's see. Let's first fix the network settings. So if we go to PCM, PSA, yeah. So it sees the Ethernet adapter, it sees the SanDisk, and it's got happy ranges. Okay, so that's actually all happy. That's all good. So let me see if I can remember how to do this. So if I go to Netware Protocol, so are you plugged in? Yeah, you're plugged in. So you should be getting an IP address. But you're not. What's going on here? Yeah, so it sees that. It may be that it's being stupid, so let's give it a specific IP address. 168.0.250 should be free on my network. Apply, please. All right, let's see if that works. If not, I gotta make sure the other part of the cord is plugged into something. At least one of the adapters has an empty WINS primary server. Yeah, that's fine. So, config. That's not a good sign. Okay, so I'm getting request timed out. Okay, so why 0? I'm currently just checking on the desktop to see what it's seeing. So bear with me. Because once again, I do not feel like doxing myself. I'm not going to switch the view because I've got to go into my router. So I want to see why the router is not seeing anything. So if I look at wired clients, so the router doesn't even see the laptop. It doesn't see the port active, which probably means the cable's unplugged. Hold that thought. All right, let's see here. If I reach back here and I lift this whole thing out. Okay. So I've got 3 plugs coming out here. Let's put that there. Make sure that connector's all the way in. Okay. Plot's thickening. Not in a good way, but it is thickening. So let's pull up Wireshark. So the other end of the cable is in fact plugged in. So, but it's also been a while since I've used this, so who knows what has broken. So I'm going to get Wireshark out and we're going to take a look. We're going to take a look. So it's not even seeing pings, which is a little concerning. I mean, obviously it sees the Ethernet. Or it sees the Ethernet adapter. So that's the subnet mask. The IP address is correct. The gateway is correct. Not that it's getting anywhere. Okay. So 1068.1. So that's all correct. Let me just switch to DHCP and see if it actually is sending anything. Okay, and then do apply. Like I said, I know this adapter works, or it worked the last time I tried it. There is a README file. I probably should read it. You know, I know it's a little passé, but sometimes actually reading the README file can help, strangely enough. So if we go back, I mean, there's other ways I can get around this. It's just I don't really want to get all the drivers and have to burn a CD. So here's the Ethernet adapter driver. Let's look at its README file and see what it has to say. Think Windows can't find Word. Oh, Oh, hold on. I think I know what went wrong. I think I have a very distinct idea. So here's what happened. When I put the PCM CIA adapter, it changed the default drive letter, and bad things happened. So let me eject that. I can't be in Windows NT to do this, or bad things will happen. Let me eject that card, because that'll put the hard drive back as C. And I wonder if the problem will go. Move my driver disk. Yeah, see, now I take this out. I wonder if the problem goes away. Like I said, NT4 was not the most user-friendly thing at the time. And once again, the camera has decided focus is not something it cares about. Okay. While I wait for this to boot, I'm going to see if I can do something about the autofocus problem. Manual tap, focus on this point. And then so we'll probably get another log install. Yeah, we'll probably get another log install. That's to be expected. Is it seeing another wired device? Which suggests then there's a problem with ARP, if that's the case. Yeah, so it's only seeing my desktop on the network, which is Absolution. So, let's see here. Yeah, Neozine, I know that it's, yeah, well, this is bare metal. We could install Service Pack 3 because I have Service Pack 3 on a CD. And that's probably not a bad idea, all things considered. I'm thinking about this. We've still got to manage to log in before we get anywhere. So, but I am thinking we'll try a few more things, and then we'll just try and install Service Pack 3, which is I've got on CD, and if that works, then we go to Service Pack 6. And while that's going, I am going to read the documentation in the driver that we couldn't read before. Oh, or I'll just finish logging in, and then we can look at it that way. Because I'm suspecting it's probably got some note on, oh, you must do this obscure step while dancing naked somewhere to make this all work. This is a ThinkPad 380D that originally started life with Windows 95. Hey, look, I've got icons on my desktop. That tells me that the system is quite a bit happier. Let's put the driver disk back in. Okay. You know, at some point we could even install SCO Unix on here, and that's probably a bad idea, but I also kind of want to do it because it'd be funny. So, okay, here we go. So here's the WordPad documentation. So, nope, sorry, that's the Novell driver. I do find it interesting that we have a little bit of overscan. I don't know why that is. Yeah, so let's see here. So, default settings, there may be a conflict. You know, that's actually not a bad thing to check, that there's no conflict. Because there is no plug and play in these versions. So, let me see if I can remember how you do this. Blah, 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 blah. You go to Programs, Administrative tools, diagnostics. Because we might have an ICQ, let's see here, go to resources. No, nothing's competing on 5. So let's see if there's anything competing on IO port 300. No, I think we're okay there. So let's see here. Kingston driver. Installation's now complete. Maybe we just need to install a service pack? Let's see what the revision file has to say. Okay, so it was the first release. That doesn't help at all. That is so completely useless, it's not even funny. I do find it funny that it has a 351 folder on here. I doubt there's anything useful here, but we'll take a quick look. Yeah, okay. Nope, nothing really useful. Is the video frozen? Hold on, did I go offline? No. Okay, for some reason Twitch for me is froze, so I haven't been seeing chat for a bit. So I apologize. Okay, so what's going on here? So we do see this. Interestingly, this system actually has a PCI bus internally. I didn't know that. Do we have a DMA conflict? No. Environment's good. Access level is good. Memory is fine. It doesn't see the BIOS date, but that's understandable. Services are all good. Let's see, let's look at... Yeah, so all that seems happy. If I want to reconfigure the card. Alright, let's just install Service Pack 3 and see if that makes a difference. Because Service Pack 3 I have on disk. 6 I would have to copy from another machine or burn it to a CD. It's too big to get on here any other way. So the way you continue the process is you put back office disk. The installation process here is kind of screwy, and you'll see why in a moment. I can't remember if this is an auto run disk. I don't think it is. So you put disk 2 in, or maybe it was disk 1. No, it's disk 1 you have to put in. Disk 2 doesn't have the auto run. Okay, that comes out. That goes in. And the moment you put this in, it's going to throw a hissy fit that you need to install a service pack. And, oh, we have that service pack. 4 was the useful service pack because 4 fixed a lot of bugs. But I don't have it, so I have to work with what I have. Okay, so, yeah, so right now it says your current system is Service Pack 1, yada, 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 I agree. And then I need the CD key from the back. So that's 3302 5708 504. My CD key and this spot is not the same size. Oh, there's 2 CD keys. Hold on. Oh, wait. 330 257 257 0850. Nope, doesn't like that. But that's what the CD key is. Except I have an 11-digit CD key on the here. I don't get it. Oh, that was a little bit too dark. Okay. I have installed this. Apparently, all right. Let's go for the usual. I hate using this trick. Yep, that worked. That worked just fine. I hate that works. It just drives me a little bit crazy. All right, so that's Service Pack 3 doing its thing. I don't know what you're going to get by pirating my key. I really don't. So while that's doing its thing, I want to figure out why this LCD is overscanning. So while we do this, so auto placement is, let's try this. Auto adjust. Oh, that did it. Okay, so apparently you just have to manually adjust because of the resolution. So, alright. So, we'll see if Service Pack 3 fixes our network. And if not, then we will cast things out into the next circle of hell. Because, yeah. The way I remember this is when I used to work with NT religiously, for whatever reason we couldn't install Service Pack 6 directly. We had to install 4 and then we could do 6. And in those days you couldn't slipstream the media. So it was this giant, obnoxious process to do this. So you install 4, you do 6, then you do the service roll-up, and then you could do the drivers. So, because while I have installed NT4, I've never actually tried to get the networking going before. Which, once again, proves that NCommander should test this stuff before he does it on stream. Side Pocket, please remind me of this in the future. But we've also learned that the stream likes to watch me suffer. So as we're installing Service Pack 3 on our eventual quest to potentially get this all working, we are raising money for Child's Play charity. We have a $300 goal that we're hoping to raise before the end of 2020. And if we hit that goal, there will be more suffering than usual on the part of NCommander. Child's Play Charity is a really awesome organization that helps children that are like in pediatric wards for an extended period. Pretty much every major streamer, game streamer has raised their Child's Play at some point, so this is our turn to do so. So once again, it really would make the huge difference to me in the channel. And if you like me personally, it would do me a huge favor if you checked out my YouTube channel, subscribe, followed me on Twitter, or join me on Discord. My show, Hack Alt NCOMMANDER, is, I mostly do this to help my friends and to help raise money. I do a lot of projects separate from that because a lot of projects I do don't do well in stream format. So it's my brain completely going. And so like right now I've got a hardware restoration. I've got a current project that I am documenting some real interesting bit of IBM tomfoolery related to the professional graphics controller. And then I do find it interesting that we keep seeing references to Microsoft Plus, and I just saw Gopher. So, okay, so we can eject the disk. So the big thing that this service pack does is we just upgraded Internet IIS from version 3 to version 4, and I actually wonder if that may be what blew up. because we did install the network driver during setup, but let's see if this helps. And the other thing I just remembered reading is that apparently the card slot you use can affect NT. Let me move it to the bottom slot, and we'll just see if that makes a difference. I'd be really annoyed if that's what fixes it. Okay. So NT detect 4 detecting hardware. OS Loader's versions changed. The next splash screen has changed. At some point I might work up the nerve to try the OpenNT build. Almost 15 years ago, the source code to Windows NT 4 leaked, and then they got it building. Now, I don't generally like working with leaked or proprietary source code just because of the taint issues, but it's so old at this point, I'd be kind of tempted to try it. I have the option. I have a version of the option pack that's actually included on these CDs. I will get prompted to install it. But right now we're just trying to get the network card installed so we can get the other drivers. Otherwise, I'm going to have to write floppy disks. And what's the point of running NT server if we can't get full networking going? Because I like to network all my retro computers. Okay, that is not promising. Although the network adapter is flashing a lot, I don't have it on... Shoot, okay. Yeah, the network adapter is actually flashing a fair bit. So it does suggest that something is doing something. I'm going to try one more thing. When I tried to get this network card working under NetWare, it was having issues unless I put it on interrupt 3. So maybe I need to do it for this ThinkPad. I can't imagine why you would have to do that, but without plug and play, it's entirely possible. Well, the option pack had like all the good bits of Windows 2000. If we can install Active Desktop on top of NT4. In fact, if I can get the network working, we will do that. Because you can really make this look really identical to 2000. So let's see how far we can get here. Right now, everything is dependent on getting the network working. And this is really obnoxious, this login in progress. I will just say that. I'm going to just pull on this cable and make sure it's actually going somewhere. Because maybe it's not going to where I think it is. I don't think it's plugged into my desktop. But let's just make sure the cable is going to where I think it's going. So, okay, so here's this cable, and it is in fact going into the router. I will switch the jack just as a precaution, but it is going into my router. I'll just switch you to port 5. See, and for whatever reason, my switch is just being stupid, and the switch is just showing everything lit up, so that doesn't really help. Cancel. So now it's going to install hot fixes. So it's not done yet. What is this setup process? Okay, so it's going to do another reboot. But before it does another reboot, we're going to change where this card is living. I think, how do I do this? I think I have to remove the card and I have to reinstall it. Because you can't hot swap under NT. I remember this very clearly. So remove card. It's not letting me do it, is it? Okay. Device. Configure. If I go to network adapters, well, let me change it there. Nope, system's gonna reboot again. Oh boy. Yeah. I have this distinct feeling this entire stream is just going to be me trying to get Windows NT working. Because we're an hour and a half in, and all we've managed to do is install updates. So, you know, it is the quintessential Windows experience. I mean, I suppose I could take it a step further. We could be installing Millennial Edition. But, yeah, you know, I don't think I hate myself that much just yet. I am fully aware that I have sadomasochistic tendencies, especially when it comes to vintage computing. So, okay, let's give it the old free finger salute. And once again, it's going to probably complain that it can't see anything on the network. Yeah, I might just try plugging the wire directly into my desktop and seeing if... You know, that's probably a bad idea because it'll just... It would probably just get confused. I literally had this working the day before. So it's really, at this point, it's just doing this to spite me. Because the port should be active, but it's not. And we have to wait for this timeout each and every single time. I'm okay. This is okay. This is fine. Everything is fine. The login prompt can't hurt you. The login prompt can't hurt you. It does feel like it's taking longer than usual, though. Yeah, because if I look at the Ethernet wire, it does show the link present, which means that the ground connections between here and the router are good. And when this machine had NetWare on it, I could connect to it on this machine and it worked. So once again, I know that this network card is good, but I had it set on interrupt 3 and that worked. So I think I'm going to have to remove the card, put it back in. Okay, so it's going to launch back office server, SEP again. No. That's the CD-ROM drive spinning up. Okay, so we've got all the patches that I have on these disks installed. So we'll come back to this, because I am sure I want to cancel. And then let's go to network. God. I'm going to have to turn mouse trails on because I can't not being able to find the network card. If I pull this up, come on. Well, it hasn't crashed, which is a good sign. If I go to devices. Okay, I remember this. Yeah, so basically under NT, this version of NT, you can enable and disable devices through this screen. That is just hard locked, aren't you? Yeah. I'm just gonna have to boot the system without the card in, aren't I? There we go. Okay, so let's try interrupt 3. Because that should not be unused in this system. Or at least it was not in use when under DAWs. Let me see here. What is ICQ3? IRQ3 conflict. I want to say that's the serial port. Is standard interrupt for serial port 2. This computer only has the 1. On IR interrupt 5 is the default interrupt for sound card. Okay. I'm going to put a dollar down that was the problem. I'm going to have I have a good feeling about this because, you know, plug and play. What an amazing technology it was when it was a thing. This is fine. 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 Okay. Well, it seems to be a little faster, but we'll know in a moment. Oh, I'm seeing activity that I wasn't seeing before. It's flashing a lot. Hello, I've got 2 wired clients on my network. I just got the notification that a wired device has been attached to my network. So I think it's doing something. And folks, I will note that my Christmas gift for myself is going to be a new camera for Meet Real Space. So hopefully we'll have better, because I'll be honest, the lighting is looking kind of crummy. You can read it, but it's not great. Okay, it's still logging in, but it did talk to the network. So we are making progress. And so Thunderbird, I will just say that HPUX makes me cry inside. That's what I'm going with. Oh, okay. All right. So there we go. Das Booten. I would actually love to have an HPUX machine. Excuse me. HPUX machine. Just so I could demo it. I technically have Failserver, which should be able to run HPUX, but it's also Itanium, and let's just say bad things happen to the power supply in this part. Okay, give me a sec. I want to try and fix this. If I set exposure value to 0, continuous autofocus, does this fix it? I don't know why I'm having so much issues. This was not a problem last time I futzed with this camera. But let's see here. Did we in fact get a proper IP address? All right, let's find out. CMD. Let's get rid of the welcome. It's very hard for me to see the mouse cursor. Hey, that's an IP address. So if we go to network neighborhood, entire network. Okay, so it's not seeing app solution, which is not entirely unexpected. So let's see if I type in its IP address 147. Hey, there we go. There we go. Guest. That's my unencrypted. This will work with pretty much any NetBIOS client. Yes. Okay, that is progress. That is what I call Progress City. So let me start getting the ThinkPad's drivers here. So NT4. Let's get the video driver first. Well, I already downloaded the video driver. I just need to find where I put it. Show in folder. So this should be the video driver for this machine. And then I'm not sure which other drivers I need. I don't think, even if there was an let's see here. Let's look at the other ThinkPad drivers we have. So Windows NT. Oop. There are CardSoft PCM CIA drivers. It's probably not a bad idea to install those. Yeah, we'll grab those, we'll install those. Well, it says you should not install these drivers while on a network, which is probably one of those warning labels that I should listen to. That's configuration. Let's see here. Yeah. We're just going to grab the full lot. So what I'm doing on my desktop is if we hit the F5 here. Oh, I haven't copied it yet. I do really appreciate that people have archived all the ThinkPad drivers. Let's see here. What other ones do we need? Hardware firmware update. I'm not going to apply that one. That just sounds like a bad idea. That's the audio update. Let's see here. Audio update. NT4. BIOS update, I am not going to do that one. Okay, that looks like that's all of them. So it's just 5 drivers? Huh. I would think it would be more than that. Okay, so let's copy that and let me move that to what's called the guest, what I call the guest share. All right, so there's NT4. That's pretty. That is what I call success. Okay, so now the only thing I've got to find before we keep going is I got to find where I put the DEF CON 201 chat. So, okay. I don't know which ones are which. Okay, so apparently it doesn't like being here, so we'll just copy new drivers. No, I didn't want to make shortcuts. I forgot when they changed that behavior. Copy here. Okay. But, you know, what amazes me in some respects is how much usable the old Explorer was compared to what it became. Now, the way I used to like having this is I always used to like to have it either... Yeah, I basically liked it like this. So, yep. Okay, so that's the video driver. Finish, output, cool, and then let's see here, ThinkPad utility, The joys of installing drivers. I always love doing this because you literally get to watch the system become more and more functional. Don't get me wrong, it's a giant pain, especially, you know, compared to like modern things. So there's audio. Which one was this one? Infrared. That one I really don't care about, but, you know, since we're here. Okay. So now, how do we actually get these drivers? It's been so long since I've used NT, I don't actually remember how you do this. So I think we have to go to drivers. No, maybe not. Like if I go to multimedia, is there an add tab here? Oh, I guess there is. So, God, this looks identical. So yeah, so let's go to unlisted driver. And then I guess we just go right down the line. Drivers, NT, audio. And install new driver. Yeah, we'll install a new driver, and then if the service pack installs a new one, so be it. So, cool. Alright, so that's just basically all the basic default settings. That looks correct. 1990. Don't restart. Because we're going to do as many as once as we can. Settings. I do like how we have a plus thing here. Was there... Does anyone know if there was actually plus for NT4? I can't remember, and I'm not certain either way. Okay. So display driver. Now, I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, that this ThinkPad's display can actually go quite a bit higher. I just have curiosity. There was, okay, so it does actually have a built-in driver for this, because that is, in fact, the right chip. But we're just going to install, the one that IBM recommends. C, drivers, WinNT, NeoMagic. Yeah. So, there we go. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Let's not reboot. Because once again, I like living dangerously. So this one you just do install. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, folks, I want to take odds in chat. Do you think my system is actually going to work once we are done installing all the drivers? So we've installed everything except this one. And this one it might have some issues with. But YOLO! Let's see here. Okay, so this one's telling me to remove the cards before card slots. So you know what? That's fine. Let's do a shutdown. Because you know that's still enough to get the system up to the point that we can boot. We'll remove the PC card. We'll install that last driver, which will probably give us hot swap. I can eject the card now. Let's restart. And let me make sure the sound is all the way up. We should get a nice full set of sound effects now out of Windows. And all things considered, an hour and say 30 minutes to do the whole thing with drivers, that's not bad. And then we'll start taking a look at what NT provides out of the box, and then I want to hear from you guys what you want to see. We could look at IIS. We could look at InterDev. We could look at SQL Server. Hell, we can even install Exchange if we really want to hate ourselves. So, folks, give me some ideas in chat on what you want to look for. We could install SNA Server, but we can't do a lot with it. Proxy Server, we can't do a lot with. Okay, we're running in a high color mode. That's actually a good sign. So, okay, so far so good. So far, very good. SQL or IIS? Okay, so IIS is already installed, so we might as well go with that. Let's like I said, let's just get the last bit of. Oh. I don't know if that made it on the camera. I don't know if the mic picked that up. But oh man, that sound. That sound. Oh, can I take this resolution that high? Okay, it does not want to go that high. 800 by 600 is fine. Actually, if I turn off, yeah, 800 by 600 is fine. So we'll just run on that. And we'll turn the colors all the way up. Test. Yep, okay, that's good. Yep. I always liked that boot sound. I thought that boot sound was one of my all-time favorites. So, let's see here. Can we get millions of colors at this resolution? Maybe? Okay, so we can only go to 65,000 colors, but you know, that's fine. Go. Do it. Do the thing. So we had a service fail. That was probably networking just because I took the card out. Last driver. Okay. There we go. 2 hours, but I'll probably, like I said, I'm probably going to clone Zilla this hard drive, so we can pick this up on a later stream. But I think I want to take a look at IIS first. I actually do think it's a pretty cool idea to look at, because I kind of want to look at the built-in Gopher server. I've never really looked at it. So, I've actually kind of grown accustomed to widescreen displays. I know, blasphemy, but it is what I have actually gotten used to over the years. So, more startup sounds. That was supposed to reboot. That did not reboot. Let's try that again. So shut down the computer. Yeah, that was supposed to reboot, not do what it just did. Well, I see new icons. Okay. Are you going to shut down correctly now? Notice we lost our screen resolution. It's gotten tiny. It probably makes sense. So it's doing all unsaved data. sometime today would be nice. Okay, restart. PC card is in. Okay, that is Windows NT Server fully set up and configured on the ThinkPad. That actually wasn't too bad, all things considered. It wasn't great, but it wasn't too bad. So, where's my soda bottle? Oh, it's all the way over here. I will be right back. Give me 30 seconds. And I'm back, folks. I just needed some aromatherapy. So, okay. And I just tried to do an all control delete on my desktop, and that would have ended very badly. Alright, so now we've got NT4 installed. Let's start taking a closer look. I'm gonna move the mic over so you can I can move over closer to the computer, and you can still hear me. So many windows. So yeah, so the important thing to know about this system is that if I'm going to use a PCM CIA network card, I have to set it to interrupt 3, or bad things will happen. Other than that, seems more or less exactly what I expect. Although something failed. Let's take a look and see what's actually failed. Let's see here. So that would be under here, Event Viewer. Migration tool for NetWare. Okay, it's not 100% happy. Probably because there's Service Pack stuff still missing, because there was a lot of NT4 Service Packs. So what? User parameter for infrared port. Okay, so it's just not happy about the infrared port. And actually that makes sense, because the infrared port on this laptop is a little bit strange. I've had problems with it before under DAWs, and I had to use a special utility to fix that. So, yeah, that's actually kind of understandable. So, other than that, so we've got Server Manager, which basically tells us everything that is in use, tells us everything about the machine, who's logged in, yada, yada, yada. This is actually very similar to a lot of the things we've seen on, we've seen on, Brain, on Windows for Workgroups, because a lot of the Windows for Workgroup stuff and was ported from NT and then kind of went back and forth. So, yeah. Alright, so if out of the box, NT4 actually gives you quite a bit. It gives you IIS. And so IIS out of the box, we've got a web server, we've got Gopher, and we've got FTP. So let's open the Internet Explorer of yore. And interestingly, I only have the cursor on one screen. God. Do you remember when Internet Explorer used to look like this? So, once again, I would appreciate it if, it would be hugely appreciated for the channel that we are raising money for Child's Play. If you could even spare $5, it really does make a huge difference. If you're watching on Twitch and you scroll down, there's a widget for Tiffany. We never see your credit card information. We never see your information. So, beyond that, I hope you are all enjoying the stream, and you'll be with us at future streams. And once again, only give if you're in a position to give. And so getting back to this, look at this freaking antique of a web browser. This is Internet Explorer 2.0. Obviously 1.0 exists, but it was not shipped with any version of Windows that I'm aware of. But this is basically HCSA Mosaic. So I was not a big Navigator fan. I never was, even back when it was quote unquote new. God, get ISDN for Microsoft Windows. So how are you going to be able to download something if here. The funny thing is that there are things we can actually do with this. So if I go for flood gap should work. Let's see if I can remember. Yeah, look. So the Gopher protocol has basically been unchanged for literal decades. So, and a lot of retro tech enthusiasts run Gopher websites. So we are literally surfing a Gopher website on the actual internet in 2020. Now, Internet Explorer is kind of a cruddy Gopher client. And it's a really cruddy Gopher client. But if we go, let's see here, if I can, does that work? Software. If we find a slightly better Gopher client, let's see here, because I know the guy, this is Cameron's website. He actually, the Internet Explorer does not implement what's called the I extension, which is why these are all showing up as links. So this is talking about overbite, which is not actually what I want. I would like see, it says why you should not use Internet Explorer. So let's see here. I think this is all talking about Gopher servers. Where's the clients? Because I just like the idea of even just browsing. Here it is, clients for legacy systems, because this is a legacy system. Clients for generic Windows. Yeah, that's us. Let's see here. See here, Unix, Macintosh. Oh wow, there's even an FTP. I wonder if the FTP, I didn't think the FTP was going to work, because this doesn't support passive, but this does have HGopher. But it's a zip file, but I don't have WinZip. We don't have WinZip. Let me grab WinZip and put it on the file share so we can actually get it onto this machine. WinZip, download Windows NT4. So amazingly, it is still available. So amazingly, you can even still buy WinZip. Okay. So let's grab this from old version. Come on. There's only a handful of sites that you can really find old software and not have to deal with some really obnoxious things. So let's grab WinZip 7, because then we can install a proper Gopher client, and then we can actually download and explore things on this NT magnificence. And we can also install the next service pack if we need it. Okay, let's see here. Will you... This does not want to download. Technology hates me. Let me try one more site. Here we go. WinZip. Ah, there we go. WinZip 7. So let's get that kicked over to the... I'm going to have a nice collection of things for the next time I actually do this. Because God knows this is not going to be the last time I actually do this. This probably won't even be the last time I do this on a stream. So let's go get apps. And let's put this... I want to make a legacy folder. So ThinkPad stuff. I'm actually going to call... Nope, wrong disk. Wrong disk. I'm actually going to call this apps32 because I do... This machine normally actually tends to run Windows 3.1. It just works a little bit better on this particular machine. So I'll probably return this back to 3.1. But we're not there yet, so... I also am curious, if I do app solution, this is actually, it does work. So that means Win's resolution is actually working the way it's supposed to. And then if we copy and paste, I'm curious why I can't execute it while it's on the network share. Although, let me do a map. You know, you usually with these versions of Windows, you had to do map network drive. So let's map as Z, and actually we can see it right there. We can see work group, and work group is where App Solution lives. Yeah, I know. I will give you guys a 5-minute notice before the end. But I'm having a good time here, so we might as well... I just got a video out today, which means things have kind of looking up. It's... I've had some pain with getting videos out as of late. Wow, look at that. The idea of seeing Samba Ubuntu from NT4... I feel like... I feel like I've entered the Twilight Zone. So now that I've got this mapped, can I actually run stuff off here? No, I just don't have execute position. I might have made this file share read only, but that's fine. That's fine. This is fine. This is all fine. Oh, we've had an anonymous $10 donation for Child's Play. To whomever did that, thank you very kindly. It is hugely appreciated. So we're going to run WinZip in classic mode. ExpressSep is fine. And there we go. Man, this takes me back. So if we pull open HGopher now... Internal error detected. Yes, that's fine. Start in classic mode. That's fine. I do find it interesting how it's... I forgot. It's unregistered. See here. So, okay, so if I want to extract you to the desktop, and then I want to just do new folder on the desktop, so if I do like hgopher, I mean, you can definitely see how in many ways things have gone better and then things haven't gone better. So I don't think I ever used this client back in the day. But we'll see. So go home. Server setup. Add fast server. And that'd be gopher.floodgap.com. And then we hit OK. So if I want to go to the... I guess I could go install Firefox. Oh, here it is. Initial connection. Gopherfloodgap.com. Save. OK. Yep, and there's FloodGap. So now I can get pretty much all the major information. Now the nice thing about FloodGap is like there's a mirror of Wikipedia. You can get quite a few file downloads here. So it's actually a pretty reasonable way to browse the internet on legacy machines. Bulletin board systems kind of go a bit further, all things considered. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about WinZip being unregistered. I never registered it back in the day, although I feel like, you know, I should. Like, I should probably... Well, I never really used Trumpet WinSock. I used... we had AOL. Please don't judge me. I'm a little too loud. I'm sorry. Folks, if the... I had turned up the mic because it was a little too soft earlier. And I also realized that we've, at some point during the night, lost our background music. And I apologize. If my audio is off for any reason, please let me know. It's not easy for me to test while we're in stream. So... it is hugely appreciated. So let's get an Epic Station going. And there we go. How does that sound, guys? Ooh. Please excuse me. Right. So we were going to explore IIS, and I think that's what we're going to do next. And then maybe we'll install SQL Server, and then we'll do a bit more. I mean, there's a lot of things we can explore here, and like we could set up an entire RPL server. We could test domain replication, but you know, one thing at a time. So let's start with IIS. So if we open up the server manager, so we have a web server, a Gopher server, and FTP. Now, if I remember correctly, Newseed also said that there was NMTP. I vaguely remember that being on his blog. See, what was Key Manager? I don't even know what this is. I'm guessing it's some sort of variable replacement thing. Or we'll have to upgrade to IIS 4. But I am just kind of curious what we get as is. So let's, because IIS was upgraded as part of Service Pack, so we'd have to upgrade to Service Pack 6 to see the full thing. Which we can totally do. It's just, I think you guys might get a little sick of watching install screens. So let's take a look and see what the default page for Internet Explorer... Oh, sorry, that's the camera. For Internet Explorer 6 was. So Microsoft Internet Explorer Microsoft Internet Information Service, or IIS, makes it easier to do business with internal or external customers down the hall or around the world. So the whole documentation is online, and it's powered by back office, and it even comes with a disclaimer. Sample sites, applications, and pages included in the software are provided as examples only and are not intended for use as or as the basis of creation of production quality websites. Okay. So it does come with this sample site, which basically is for the fictitious Volcano Coffee Company. So let's see what this... Oh, man. Guys, are you hearing this? Do you remember when websites used to automatically start playing MIDI loops? Because I didn't remember that. And now I do. We've got the spinning automated JPEG coffee cup. In ancient tradition, the mountainous volcanic regions of the South Seas are the only place in the world where the coffee plant is part of the national native foliage. Remote and difficult to get to, these indigenous field yields the plumpest, most flavor-filled coffee beans in the world. Harvested by hand by the Maui Maui tribe. God, those colors are so hard to read. The Maui Maui tribe. These beans are exclusively used by the Volcano Coffee Company for their unique and aromatic coffee blends. Our limited select edition roasts are available at our cafes and through the pound through the local area. And this music is not doing it for me. Jack, this isn't GeoCities. This is the example website that Microsoft included in IIS. Actually, can we see the source code to this? Yes, we can. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's an internet before CS. Yeah. This almost was probably made with front page. No. Internet Assistant for Word 2.0 beta. Oh my god, I forgot that was a thing. So for those who don't know, there used to be plugins for Word that would export a document as HTML. And yeah, that's what we're looking at. And these were in the days where websites were either Internet Explorer compatible or Netscape compatible. They weren't both. Oh man. Yeah. I'm both enjoy. There is so much multimedia here, it's not even funny. Yeah, you could do the aux thing. This is probably from before Microsoft bought Front Page. I actually do think this would be from before Microsoft bought Front Page. You know, just because I want to actually see Gopher being usable, we're actually going to look this up with using Gopher. So if we search with Veronica, Let's see here, Veronica. I do like the fact that this that flood gap is running on a machine that is so ridiculously overpowered compared to what it's serving and what it's doing. But just because I'm curious, so we're going to search for Microsoft front page Wikipedia. And then we're going to let it do that result. And then we end up with Gopherpedia. Oh, it doesn't like that directory. Why does not like... Okay, I'm guessing that directory has... See, that's the problem with the Gopher space, is that there's a fair bit of breakage. Let's see here. I'm a little surprised that one doesn't quite work. Oh, look, Neozed. You're showing up there. Oh, I see what's happening. Hold on. Let me go forward. Go back the other way. If we go to... How do we do this? Yeah, see, the problem here is that the link is actually not in the right format, and this client's having some issues. So if I, just out of curiosity, if we try it here, and we go to gopherpedia.com, yeah, that actually works. It's not particularly good because this is not a, let's see our front page. So here we go, Microsoft front page. So we are browsing Wikipedia on Internet Explorer 2 over Gopher. Folks, I think we've reached peak hipster here. So it's discontinued. So front page was originally created by Cambridge, Massachusetts company Veneer Technologies Incorporated. Evidence can be seen prefix blah 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 blah. So it was acquired by Microsoft in January of 1996. So Microsoft could add front page to its browser lineup. So it looks like front page was basically built to come with Server 4.0, which is what we've got installed, and Internet Information Services 2.0. So we could easily install Agent and do Usenet. And once again, I'd like to remind people that we are again raising money for Child's Play charity. So it would be hugely appreciated that if you are in a position to donate anything, please do. We've already managed to raise $10 tonight. I know it's COVID era. I know for a lot of people it's easier said than done, but it really does make a difference to people out there, especially, it's December and the time of giving. If you're on Twitch, please scroll down to the Tiffany link. We never see your credit card information. Beyond that, yeah. I mean, when we hit the goal, I get to torture myself more. And considering what we're already doing, I'm already torturing myself pretty good. I've never actually used the early front page. I want to say front page is... Hold on. Let's put the back... We have the back office server. I'm thinking right now is... I'm just looking at this side by side. Let me pan the camera so you can see. I'm just really noticing that the LCD on my ThinkPad, and this may not be showing up very good through the camera, it really has some off-color spots. Like if I dim it down, you'll really be able to see it. Like you can see here that this part of the screen is much darker than the other, which probably tells me that this LCD panel really is on its last leg. So maybe I will replace it with an active LCD panel, or at least another passive one from another ThinkPad. Because this ThinkPad I've actually had. It is my original ThinkPad from the factory. Well, it was my dad's originally. It's changed hands a lot of times. So it kind of has a lot of sentimental value to me. So there's that. But if I remember correctly... Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. I apparently managed to click multiple things at once. No, that was not what I did. There's like some subtle behavior differences between this and more modern Windows that I'm not completely used to. There we go. So let's go put the back office CD back in. And it's going to make the spinny noises. But now we've got nice colors. So yeah, let's go all the way to the end. I agree. I again do not understand why it's not taking its CD key. I mean, we saw the CD key, but the CD key is not matching. But I believe I have a copy of Front Page on here. And you know, let's put you back towards the LCD. So let's look at custom. What are the options we have? I could have sworn Front Page was on here. So we can install SQL Server, Exchange, Internet Explorer 4, the Option Pack, Proxy Server 2, SNA, System Management System, and the Back Office Suite. At the cost of basically every bit of free space this little ThinkPad has. So Plan A is not going to work. You know, it might be on the other CDs. Let's take a look there. Let's eject. And I still want to see what else is on that example file. But Front Page might be on the site server disk. I've never actually figured out what site server actually was. So let's take a quick look and see. Because like I said, I've sort of explored these, but I never really. Oh, looky, sound effects. So let's see here. So what's like the tools installation? Yeah, like I have no idea what this site server is. I can't even find good references to it when I was looking at it. So let's just run the install and see what happens. Okay, so it wants to install the option pack and IE4. So you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I guess. Sure. Oh, okay, so I guess it's not going to let me do that. Okay. Yeah. I know there was problems. You've made yourself know that there was problems. Alright, so what do we want to do next? Let's take a look at the Gopher stuff, and then we'll put the interdev webs disk in, and we'll take a look at that one, and then we'll look at site server. So, wrong one. So I do want to see what Gopher site is actually on here. And I also kind of want... So it's a completely empty Gopher site. How do you even manipulate this? So if we go back to server setup, no, that was not what I wanted. No, server manager. There we go. So if we look at Gopher, so port 70, it basically just goes to this directory. What's in that directory? Well, given that this predates, so if I just put a text, just out of curiosity, so if I put a text file here, new text file, and let's just call it test. Does it show up here? It does show up here. So that is a really, really basic Gopher server. Which, to be fair, makes sense. The original Gopher, like if we go back to HGopher, you can see how that they have these lines with the eye. This is a relatively new extension, and I'm going to use the words new here in quotes, but it's a relatively new thing as far as Gopher stuff goes. So Internet Explorer predates that. To my knowledge, they never even really supported it, because the way the Gopher protocol works is interesting is the word I'm going to go with here, but it doesn't feel like really the right one to use. So I just want to take a look at what the other built-in application is before we do anything else. So we do have pinball. God, remember this? I don't even remember the default keys were. I think the first time I played this game, I know it was in the Plus pack for 95. But I want to say the first time I played this pack was under... Oh man, that is lagging. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I think this ThinkPad's graphics card is not up to the task. I also can't see the key flip. Yeah, I gotta give it the 3-finger salute. So this ThinkPad cannot run pinball, probably because it's graphics card. But yeah. Alright, so I think that covers everything in the base Windows server. Oh, I don't want to say it covers everything, because we haven't looked at like any of the policy manager, domain manager, we looked at NT4 diagnostics. But if we wanted to look at like building an ASP application, we'd have to go through it. Oh man, remember this thing? This was the predecessor to the now Get Server Started. The background music, it's on Pretzel. Due to logistical problems, it's called Nomad, and it just went away. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I just have Pretzel, which is called Pretzel Rocks, playing in the browser in the background. And it's the Epic list. So right now I'm just thinking it's currently 2:30. So we've been going for 2 hours 40 minutes. So I think we're pretty close to wrapping up this stream. What I am going to do off camera is I think I'm going to take a backup of everything we've done here, or at least keep all the drivers somewhere handy, so if I need to reinstall, I can do it pretty quickly. And what we could do in a future episode is we could look for the rest of the back office software, because I kind of would like to explore it more in depth. Because right now we've really only scratched the surface with the basic Windows NT. I mean, when you really get down to it, this is not all that different from much more modern. I mean, it wasn't until Vista that they really made a lot of changes. You know, I mean, we have the post office, which was the original predecessor to NCommander.exe has crashed. The original predecessor to Exchange, and then Exchange was this big giant upgrade that came along. If we wanted to go through and install a bunch of other applications, we can definitely do so. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a closer look at SQL Server. We would probably want to install Office, see how much has changed and modified over the years. So, yeah, I could definitely see doing a more in-depth series. I originally bought this package to do a Word 97 is the one I tend to think the most of, because it was the quote-unquote definitive version, even though it was... Yeah, there was, in fact... So, Microsoft Mail was actually... You know what? I can show this because it's actually kind of nifty. So, both the original retail release of Windows 95 and NT4, if we go post office, let's create a new post office. And then let's create its location. Let's see here, let's call it WPO. Okay, so we'll have to create it. So the original post office for Windows was what was called Microsoft Mail, and then it was called Messaging. So admin. I like that the first one is the password's hard set to password. So now we've created the post office. We can administer it, password, and then you see the details. We can now go to mailboxes, add it. We don't have internet mail available. Do that. Then it does all the messaging setup. And then if we go to inbox, we have email. And for those of you that watch my YouTube channels or have written any of my write-ups, and I will actually get the links to this and I will drop this. This is the continuation of a product called Microsoft Mail. It was available for DOS, OS2, Win95, Windows 3.1. It was integrated into Windows for Workgroups. And there was even a Macintosh version, although there was some debate if the Mac version was actually intercompatible with the PC one. But that being said, if we go over, where was it? I want to say this was baked into NT4 out of the box, but I'm not 100% sure. If we go to, not services, because there is actually something kind of cool I can show here. Since we're here, it was sort of the odds and ends. If we go into run, and then we type cmd, we have the PAX utility. Which is the one application that used the POSIX. So one big thing of Windows is that it was designed to have multiple interfaces. So PAX runs on the POSIX interface, which is basically a very stripped down Unix. It was possible to install services for Unix. So what I'll do right now is I'm going to get the blog posts I wrote and the YouTube video that talks about pre-exchange mail. So that's one. And then I will note that these are not my best videos because this is right when I was just starting my YouTube channel. But it definitely goes into the server-side features. Now, one thing I would like to do and talk about more in depth at a later point is I'd like to talk about LAN Manager, which is basically what NT4 was based off of. So I do think it's starting to become that time. I do feel like I want to do something special to end the stream. I'm just not sure what. Because the go from Exchange to Microsoft Mail was kind of an involved process. And early Exchange was kind of rough around the edges. I really am not going to beat around that particular bush. And I'll say the upgrade path from Exchange onward is even worse. But, the other thing to take into account is if we go into network and we go to protocols and add, you can also see Windows worked with basically everything. Although, oddly, AppleTalk support does not actually seem to be here. It might be here. It might be under service options. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Remote boot services. This is how you get RPL. Here it is. Services for Macintosh. I knew this was here. So if you installed services for Macintosh, and I've got to put the disk back in. Because this is kind of a neat thing to show. Come on, disk, spin up. There it goes. It basically adds a full AppleTalk file server. And like I said, we can also run some OS2 programs. I'm trying to think of what we could run, though, offhand. Because there was not a lot of console applications. There was, in fact, actually, I want to see if I can find it. Let me see here. Presentation Manager GUI for Windows NT. Yep, okay, here it is. So if we grab this, and hopefully it downloads on the first try. I've always been meaning to try this. So It's might be something I do like a small blurb about, but when we're come on, this was a free download from Microsoft, and I'm trying to get it from WinWorld, and their website is not completely agreeing with me. I'm really hoping. Oh, it's in multiple disc form. You're gonna make me do that, aren't you? Yeah, I'd actually have to write this out to multiple discs to test it. It's probably worth doing, but yeah. Sometimes I really wish I could install a GoTech on this system. But okay, let me give an example of what I'm talking about here. Give me a moment because I'm going to need to find a binary. What was a 16-bit console application for OS2? Yeah, it's worth doing. It's only 5 floppy disks. So, you know what? I think I've got 5 floppy disks we can quick format. I think this is a good note to end on, so give me a moment. Yeah, okay, so this disk I want to keep as is because this is my driver disk with the Ethernet drivers, but I think all these other ones I can erase. Let's just see what's on them. Oh, I just installed Apple Talk. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I've never had a chance to play with this, so there's a lot of things, the thing for me is I'm not a particularly proficient content creator, or not proficient. It takes me a lot of effort to make any sort of content. Yeah, okay, so that disk can get deleted. These are all from when I installed Soft Landing on real hardware, so let's just do some quick formats. That's fine. And of course, I did write protects, so I normally write these out with a USB drive, so it's kind of neat to do it in this order. So let's see here. I've never heard of people getting the NT4 version of this working, so I'm curious. I am deeply, deeply curious. So if we... I need a copy of WinImage is actually what I need. WinImage, Windows NT. Because this will let me write the disks. And this version will apparently work on this version of Windows NT. I do always get kind of annoyed when I have to yeah, okay. So I do always get kind of annoyed when I have to write disks out, but I do understand it. I mean, even by this era, networks were not exactly what I call super commonplace. I do wish I could figure out what was causing that error. That would be nice to know. Paste. Okay, so yeah, there's WinImage. I've never actually used this software because I basically used Linux for almost all my disk imaging needs or DAWs. Oh look, and it did the thing. It did the thing. It did the I'm not doing this thing. What would be a raw write for Windows NT? Because that's basically what I need. That would be raw write 32, wouldn't it? Let's see here. But I don't actually know if this would run on... Okay, so this version only works on 95 and 2000 and up. So I don't actually know what I could use to write a raw disk on this version of Windows. Someone might know. I could do it from Linux. I'm out of USB drives. Okay, so WinImage 3 can do it. Okay. All right, we'll try WinImage 3. It might also be having problems because Service Pack is missing, which is entirely possible. Let's see here. Alright, I'm going to grab WinImage 4 because that version does say explicitly supports XP. I do find it interesting that it, let's see here. It's having some issues. Let's see here. Okay, version 5 downloaded. I don't know if version 5 was supposed to download. Okay. I can... Like I said, I'm just curious enough. I kind of want to try this, and maybe it's a character flaw, but sometimes I just don't always test things when I'm by myself. You know, it's like if I can't share it with other people, I sometimes wonder what the point is. So these sorts of streams are really good for letting me explore things that I might not otherwise explore. So I really do have to thank all of you for that, because it makes it more worth it to me. So, alright, let's see if WinImage 5 will work. Yeah, that's fine. Can you even... I don't even know you can still buy this software. But it did load. It did in fact load, so let's grab the presentation manager thing, and let's just try and install it and see if we can actually load presentation manager under Windows NT. This wasn't what I was planning to do tonight, but I'm having fun. Where is my download file? Okay, here we go. Presentation manager. Okay, alright, so I just got the disk images copied over. So let's see here. Can it... Yeah, I know, you're spinning up. So it did associate, which is good to say. So if we go to ThinkPad, we go to Apps, we go to Disk 1. Oh, and it can read it. That's a good sign. So, I guess... let's let it start writing. So write current image to disk. Okay. Let's make some floppy disks. Like I said, I would definitely, I might have to end up sending them money. I am legitimately curious if this will work. I have not heard success with. So the basic OS2 support built into Windows NT can run command line applications. There are not that many of those. I have a few, like a Hello World program, but it doesn't really demonstrate anything that you couldn't do with the console Win32 API. If we could run Presentation Manager, I could run Presentation Manager for Word. So yeah, I guess we're going to be writing some floppy disks. And these are just going to go into my pile of junk floppies that I will reuse again and again, because floppy disks are getting more and more expensive on the eBays. And I can't put a GoTech in this system, and B, while I really appreciate GoTech for preservation and similar, I do kind of like using floppy disks because they were a pretty big part of retro computing when I used to do them back in the day. So, you know, I can dig it. You can still get them as 2020, but what you get are very low quality discs. The discs I'm currently rewriting are discs I bought off Amazon in 2020. You're much better off buying old new stock off eBay. I mean, I enjoy using floppy disks, but I also know that's just me. You know, I don't have all that much nostalgia glasses that, while I think having a removable media of some sort is actually quite useful, I'm not going to say that the world should go back to using floppy disks on a day-to-day basis, because it shouldn't. They're not the most reliable storage medium, and what we really should have gone is something like zip disks, but iOmega compromised their quality, which really made life more complicated than it should have. I'm not even writing labels on these, so that's fine. So they sold 8-inch. Were those old stock or not? The ones that I'm currently writing are Maxwell discs. I bought 310. So I did a special when my YouTube channel hit 250 subscribers, that I would install Soft Landing Linux on this ThinkPad. And to do so, I had to actually write 31 floppy disks and had 2 failures. So I've been reusing those floppy disks over times. It is possible. The hard part about making floppy disks, especially because we live in the 3D printed era, would be making the magnetic cookies. But I can imagine for government usage and legacy systems, there's probably enough demand. So who knows? I'm going to get a drink while this writes out these disks. Oh wait, never mind. I had a soda right here. I will note, and I don't know if this is just me, but the image from the camera looks very grainy, even though the LCD looks pretty decent. I don't know if that's Twitch compression doing its thing, if it's not doing well being upscaled. But yeah, I've actually, like I said, I've never actually used WinImage to write these type of discs. I've only, the few times I've done disk writing, I actually use my SuperCard Pro. but I've only gone into doing nostalgia things like this relatively recently. And what I'd probably end up doing, I actually have a HP Jordana 720, if I remember the model number correctly, sitting in a box on my shelf. It's waiting for me to do a YouTube video on. But we are going to probably do a HACK ALT NCOMMANDER stream where, okay, I am slightly concerned. Why does this have a modification date of 2020? Well, the files haven't been changed. It may have just gone, maybe that's an access thing. I've seen that. So, again, I am curious. I also, I always do wonder why more people don't live stream vintage tech, although I also kind of do understand it. Because we've had a few disasters on this stream. Let's just put it kindly. So, but apparently progress bars are interesting. Yeah, if they actually still sell floppy disks, please get in touch and let me know, because I could definitely use some new. For me, I could really use low density 3 1/4 inch and low double density 5 1/4 inch, because I do have some need for that. It's not critical, but it's in the it would be nice. So I think the next videos I'm going to be working on is, I'm currently working on the IBM graphical file system. I'm really hoping to finish that video this week. That video is really trying to drain my soul. Then I'm hoping we're going to do the data recovery on the Intel Professional Workstation. That will be the next video I do. After I'm going to do graphical file system, Intel Professional Workstation. That's going to be data recovery. And then I'm probably going to do a video on OS2 1.0. And then mix it up a bit. Like I said, I'm hoping to get 2 more videos out before the end of the year. Because like I said, life has just been interesting for me the last few months. So, yeah. Yep. So once again, we are raising money for Child's Play charity. Anything you can donate would be. Oh, we had another $5 donation from Seismic. I think that just happened, like literally as I was looking at the screen. So thank you so much for the donation. It really does make a huge difference. And it gets us. I think it gets us 5% of our way to more NCOMMANDER torture times. So it really, thank you very, very much. And it really touches my heart that people are interested enough in watching these things that they will donate for charity. Because at the end of the day, if you don't try and help other people, hold on, let me get this going, because I'm not very good at multitasking and talking. I was a line firefighter for many years until health issues essentially forced me to retire. And being able to help people and make a difference, it has an impact that is very hard to explain. So it really, just seeing this makes me really happy. I'm hoping at some point that I'd be able to monetize my own YouTube channel so I have a budget for some of my projects. But at the same time, I also want to keep doing streams on DEFCON 201 and HACK ALT NCOMMANDER, and everything from those streams are for charity. So, and I'm hoping to keep being able to do that for the foreseeable future, you know. So, it really makes a difference. So I do thank you all. Yeah, so this is going to be the last thing. We're just going to let these discs write. We're going to install them back, and then we're going to wrap it up. So, Side Pocket, if you're on stream, I'd say let's start looking for a raid target. I'm guessing we will probably raid the next 20 or so minutes. So, beyond that, I don't know. We could play Solitaire. This is still going to take a bit of time for this to all... you know, it is kind of amazing. We just installed this system, and the start menu's already... Oh, man, look at that. Look at that. The dead bulletin board systems of old. AT&T Mail, CompuServe, Hyperterm's own bulletin board, MCI Mail, and Microsoft Bulletin Board. Sorry, I just got distracted like real hard. Uh-oh. I think I just had a lockup. Something locked up. Yeah, I can't even all control delete. Yeah, it's dead. Yeah, you know it's dead when you can just pull the power switch and it, Ladies and gentlemen, press A. Let's get some F's in chat. Oh, let's get that disc out. We just saw NT4 go belly up. I wonder what caused that. I mean, I know I don't have Service Pack 6 installed, but still, this, when was the Service Pack? Yeah. Yeah, so Service Pack 3 came out mid-1997, so it is actually contemporary with what this system would have had. Service Pack 6 came out just before 2000. So, huh. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. I definitely do, at a future point, want to do a much more in-depth look at, say, hold on. A much more in-depth look at some of the other versions of Windows NT. I would really want to take a look at Embedded Edition, but that may be the next Hack Alt NCommander, is we actually take a look at Windows NT 4 Embedded. So I've got to think about it. I think the next one's going to be NT. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do with NT yet. So we'll just wait for the login to happen. We're going to end on this note, and then we're going to keep going from there. Ooh, sorry. Brain is a little foggy at the moment. I slept very very poorly last night, so I'm probably running about 3 hours of sleep. But these things are so ingrained in my brain. So my ultimate Windows NT experience was my very first... Hold on, the sound. I always love that sound. I would love to have a DEC Alpha, or I used to have some Sunfires, and I really am sad I gave them up. My choice. The reason is I didn't have enough storage room. I could either have my Sunfires or I could keep the Itanium system. So I kept the Itanium system because those are really hard to come by at an affordable price. So, yeah, I know you have a Sunfire, Jack. I had Sunfires 120s, and at some point I will... Well, yeah, but my Itanium was the fully Windows-supported one with Windows XP. Like, it was the workstation Itanium. It wasn't the server one. So, I'm not sure that disk wrote correctly, so I'm going to just rewrite it. That was disk 4, and then we'll do 5, and then we'll do the install. So the other problem I have with the Sunfires, I like Solaris. Don't get me wrong, I do. But there is also very little about Solaris that you effectively cannot do with Linux or FreeBSD. Because the two killer features of Solaris is dtrace and ZFS. Those Sunfires are too old to be able to use ZFS, and I wasn't really planning on doing development work. So dtrace it's neat, and that was kind of the extent of that. So, I love IRIX. My very first Unix experience was IRIX, and back when Nico Chan forums were still up, I actually made a lot of progress in porting Firefox. I tried to port Firefox 10, and I discovered it just could not be done with MIPS Pro and its linker because of address space limitations. But the work I did in porting Firefox 10 was used to successfully get the Firefox 3.5 port working because they used my patch. My username on Nico Chin was NCOMMANDER. Yeah, I used to hang out in the IRC all the time. I've actually lost touch with some of their users. I used to know Kira, who used to hang out in their chat, who taught me all about Stratus VMS. Yeah, I've been like all over the internet. I don't know what happened to Nico-chan. They just kind of went. But I would love to have... I've been keeping an eye out for an O2 because while the O2s are not exactly powerful SGI machines, I could demonstrate everything cool about IRIX on an O2 and not bankrupt myself, because I've looked at what an octane goes like what the higher end octanes go for, or the indies go for, and no. And you have an R5000 indie. Oh, the envy is real. I mean, the only SGI content I even have seen on YouTube that is not crud is LGR's coverage of the SGI machines. And he only did the one video because he was borrowing it. And while it was a pretty good description of Silicon Graphics, he never went into depth. But, you know, it's like no one else has done good ones. So, but I mean, that's a lot what actually inspired me to start doing YouTubing. Because, you know, you get a lot of people that do hardware restoration. There's Retro Spectator 78. There's Retro, well, RMC now, but it was Retro Man Cave at the time. And Adrian Black. They all do hardware stuff, but not a lot of people do software, and especially software that's not games. I mean, we might, if we ever do a games stream on this channel, it's going to be NetHack or something similar. Oh, I have seen that. Is that the one when he turns it on, it's so loud you can't hear it? I have seen that Onyx system. I forgot about him. But again, there really isn't a lot of content about IREX and what made it unique. Especially, like, no one has talked about the MIPS Pro compiler and what happened to it, how it became Open64, or let's see here. Most people, when I see they show IREX, they show the desktop and they show the Jurassic Park. Yeah, I've seen that. The My Titanic, we rolled it out for Hope 2020 and we blew the breakers at Hotel Pennsylvania. True story there. Jack Neo never comes to my streams, but Neo knows this. Jack saw it, and I got a stern talking to from the people at Hotel Pennsylvania. Yeah. See, I have magic smoked hardware. I've never magic smoked a hotel before. That's my story, and I'm getting to it. I will say that WinImage is actually very slow to write. Although I don't know the SuperCard Pro. That may just be the floppy drive in the system is just slow. I mean, it is a laptop one. So we're going to try this, and then we are going to pull the plug. We've had a good 3-hour stream. So I'm going to drop my socials, and then we're going to install this, and then we're just going to install Word. We're going to install Word for OS2 because that's what I have on hand. Oh, frig, I'm going to have to write 3 more disks for that. This is okay. This is fine. Everything is fine. All right. So 5 disks are in. Let's see if we can actually get these to work. So if we go to A, and if I just run install, oh looky, it's doing thingies. Installing Presentation Manager release support release. Yeah, I'm going to YOLO this and not read the release notes. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be an NCommander moment before this is out. I just know it. Install Presentation Manager subsystem. I probably didn't have to make all the disks, but I did. But you can also tell that this was not something Microsoft was really caring about, because you only saw these sorts of installers from Microsoft when it was either a beta or they just didn't give a shit. So I am really curious how well this works. I'm guessing it would have to have a full set of the PM shell, because that's the only possible way this could work. Actually, I wonder if this is PM1 or 2, if this is Workspace Manager or not. I would have to assume it's the 16-bit one, but maybe it isn't. I'm really curious. Because I've recently been, shall we say, deep in OS2 hell. I might still be living there. I may have never escaped it, because once you enter OS2 hell, there is no leaving OS2 hell. But yeah. Some of these I think I'm just going to have to do. Camera, holy cow, stop focusing, going crazy. See, I'm just trying to think on how they may have implemented this. So I wonder if Microsoft was creating an adapter layer between Presentation Manager and Windows. Yeah, we'll know once this is actually installed. Let's put it like this. All right, so that's disk 2. Okay. Yeah, so PM, GPI, GPI VO, it almost looks like they re-implemented the core presentation manager stuff to run on top of... I would have to install an old NT or old OS2 and see how much they actually changed here. I know from looking at it briefly in IDA that for the DAWs calls DLL, they basically re-implemented it from scratch, but the 16-bit DAWs stuff really wasn't changed. Okay, now there's some applications there I recognize. There's clock. I don't remember clock. Huh. Plot thickens. Reversey. Reversey was not an OS2 application. Alright, that's disk 4. This might be a way, I'm just thinking about this. This might be a way to run the original presentation manager at a resolution that isn't total garbage. Although, I did have a boxed retail release of OS2 2.1, and in the manual Thick Enough to Crush a Cat, there was a section on how to run the original UI and not workspace shell. So I guess you could do that to get a resolution better than 16 color mode. But running old OS 2 is not fun. I mean, it's not bad, but IBM really had some questionable design decisions. And I'm probably thinking that's underplaying it. How would you get 256 colors in 1.3? I thought the only display adapter in 1.3 that could do that was the XGA one. Or is there something there? There's an ET4000 driver? Oh, can you drop a link for that in chat? Because I have never seen that. So, those look familiar. Let's load PM shell. And nothing happened. Uh-oh. I've heard rumors that this is broken. Although maybe we'll have to reboot the system. So let's see, run normal window. There is a way, I'm trying to remember how you tell it to not close when you we'll just do it this way. What's interesting is that even though this laptop's from 1997, it doesn't have a Windows key. It's probably one of the last ones that didn't have one. Yeah, I knew about this problem. I was a little bit afraid about this, is the PMGPI issue. Now, I don't know. Let me see if the file is even here. I don't think it is, but we'll check. Because I've seen people try and get this running before and fail. I'm just quickly checking the files on the other disks. And what I'll do in a moment... What I'll do in a moment is I will grab the, let's see here, PMGPI is on disk 3. Okay, so it just doesn't get copied. So if this is disk 5, 1, 2, 3. DLL. Wrong disk. Wrong disk. Alright, let's get WinImage. It's on disk 3, so we can get it that way. So open. I will have to admit, this is actually pretty nice utility. Alright, and then if we go... OS2. DLLs. Yeah, there's files missing there. It's like it just didn't copy any of these. That one you don't want to replace. That's interesting. Oh, they must be... Wait a minute. I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Show all files. Because Windows used to do that. And now, if we go to... Diagnostics, environment, there's the path. So if I do, but on Windows, yeah, the path doesn't change until you give it the three-fingered salute. So let's give it the three-finger salute. That is definitely... So, sorry, I got slightly sidetracked. So, Featherbird, thanks for posting that. I would definitely... That is actually quite handy to have. It does make some sense that those display drivers would work. Hindsight... One of these days I'll remember to reject the disk on the first try. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely reaching the, shall we say, Best Buy time with this stream. If this doesn't work, I'm calling it. But it's been a lot of fun. I want to see this work. Because this would let you do stupid shenanigans like run Presentation Manager Word on Windows NT, which just doesn't seem like it would be that useful of a thing. I'm sorry. You never know. It's definitely that time. So, it's the final copyright strike. I feel like the one thing I should do to this machine is find a new battery for it and then install all of the Windows Entertainment Pack. So, yeah. So, once again, we're doing our final test to see if we can run Presentation Manager OS2 applications, which was not the plan for tonight, but is a thing that we are in fact doing. Let's see here. And then someone wants my attention on the internet. Okay. All right. Yep, sorry. It's a friend of mine I haven't talked to in quite a long time. Just got back to me because they've been in Facebook jail because, yeah, Facebook jail. All right, so PM subsystem. Oh, it's doing something. OS2. PM shell needs to be. Okay. That's different. PM shell. Whoa. That was really weird. What the? Oh, that is trippy. And it only shows up on one screen. Like if I hit System Editor, and there's E. Based off OS2 1.3. That is just trippy. It should. It means that I could run arbitrary. Let's see here. PM subsystem. What other ones? Let's run the clock. See, this application was not in Standard Presentation Manager. I know this application isn't because I know it was in stock Windows. This looks like this got ported from Windows. In fact, I'm almost certain it did. This may even be a Willow application. But it's been modified because look, GPI app. Yeah, this is almost looks like Cruiser. This might be Presentation Manager as it would have been for Cruiser before Microsoft pulled the plug. Because if we go back to the PM subsystem, let's pull the control panel up. Yeah, see, that doesn't look any different. So your installation. Yeah, nothing there has changed. Because that's definitely just flat out Cruiser. You know what? Hold on a second. I'm going to copy some more files open. I have an OS2 installation with quite a bit of software on it, and we are about to take full advantage of that. Let me... I need to play with this a little more. So I find it interesting that it's not running on full resolution. It's running in 640 by 480. So where is... Let me grab my OS2 install. Root file system. There we go. Nope, that's an old one. Let's see here. I do really appreciate the fact that Ubuntu still has support for words. I can speak. Yeah, sorry. I'm copying files on the other machine so I can test this a little further. ThinkPad stuff. There's the inherent limitation of GPI, which was their version, is it should be able to go up to 32K by 32K. That's what the API supports. So I don't know why that exists. That limitation is very strange. But I do want to try some just generic presentation manager applications on it. So I just grabbed a whole bunch. And let's just try them because I am really curious to see. So these all want to be in the root of the hard drive, which is easy enough to accommodate. So we've got Microsoft Visual C, or Microsoft C, although that one may not work because I haven't modified the path. And I don't know where config.sys for OS2 would live, because I think it's in the registry. I just don't know where in the registry. I grabbed PM Word and I grabbed Excel. So we'll give those a quick try. I'm curious to see if they even work. I haven't had any major issues with Sidekick, but I don't use it very much. I only really show Sidekick because it's one of the very few applications that will run on let's see, let's just try Notepad. Okay, so it definitely requires a little bit of effort to make this work. So let's go to PM subsystem. And let's make a copy paste. Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, so you have to... Okay, so I see how you do it. So you have to invoke the OS2 subsystem, and then I guess you have to give it the program name and its environment. So let's go with PM Word first, because that's just going to be less typing. Okay, so let's just try this. Blah, blah, blah. It's there. Oh, that just loaded right up. I didn't have to do anything. It's thinking about it. It opened the PM shell. It didn't actually do anything though. Huh. I get a very distinct sense is that this is what was intended. You know, this is probably work that was built directly on top of the original this one might be having issues because it's a Willow application. Let me try something a little simpler. Let's try Excel. Oh, it may not like the current working directory. Hold on. That may be the problem. No? Maybe not. I need to see what I wish I could see what those errors are. Has a bad executable format. Why would that have a bad executable format? It's not a 32-bit application. It does have a DOS stub. I'm going to check one more thing. I'm just going to run file on the application. The applications that are oh, hold on, there's a readme file. I'm just going to skim this readme file. It's almost midnight, so it's been an interesting experiment. But what I think that is so the Windows NT project was originally intended to be a replacement kernel for OS2 Presentation Manager, and I almost wonder what we are seeing is basically what came out of that right before the big divorce. So let's see here. Wow, this file has some issues. Yeah, holy cow. That doesn't... There's a very long list of issues here. Let me see if I can pull this up. The file looks corrupt when I look at it here under Linux, but that probably is because there's even command line. Well, no, E is not a command line application. What a strange thing. What is in here? Just things. Just things and things. I currently have my hand on two separate mice. Let's see here. Utode. If we go to disk 1, of this, GUI 1, disk 1, I'm just going to read the README file, and then, unless there's like an immediately obvious solution to this, and why is my mouse like just floating? There we go. I like the fact that there was a special help thing for this. So this talks about running the PM stuff to list files. You can run the PM. Yeah, this really feels like a prototype. Just saying. Well, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting enough to take a look at. Anyway, oh, I like this limitation. It can either be interactive, have a console, or it can have network access, or not the same time. All right. Anyway, side pocket. Here's your 5-minute warning. So a little bit, and then we'll you just tell me when we're ready to shut it down. I'm probably going to research this more offhand. Yeah, here's pegs and holes, which I'm assuming is like one of the. Yeah, here you go. This is where I've never been good at solving these. But this game definitely was not in basic OS 2. Strangely, it's older than the other ones. So, like I said, I think this is like all stuff that comes from like Cruiser. I mean, I can't imagine where else it would come from. I've probably catastrophically forked this up. Yeah. I'm not very good at these. Yep, and there we go. If I do a 3x3. But I mean, that's just Presentation Manager. Microsoft's version of OS 2 did not have different pack-in software. I've used it. Microsoft's version of OS 2 1.3 didn't even include DOS support out of the box. You had to install it separately. So this really feels like stuff that was for Cruiser. It might be, let's see here, like if I want to run an arbitrary application. Yeah, because it doesn't even talk about running any application, and yeah, see, that talks about screen lock with certain OS 2 things. Oh, okay, there we go. Interestingly, so apparently it tries to run some things as DAWs mode. It's maybe why it's having some issues with those binaries. Did this install like a /utilities? No. So OS 2. I wonder why it. What a strange thing. Alright, anyway, I think we're going to call the plug here. So, folks, I hope you have a wonderful night. thank you for helping us raise $14, and I hope to see you all next week or whenever we're back on stream. Keep watching the DEF CON 201 Twitter and follow my own Twitter in case, because it'll be posted to both locations in case we have other out of cycle things. And I think I lost my little dialogue box. Anyway, folks, have a great night. I'm going to post my socials. Once again, thank you for helping us raise money for Child's Play. We'll be doing that for all the rest of the month. So, yeah, I gave the 5-minute warning. I can give you more 5-minute warning if you need to. Yeah. I can wait another 5 minutes. Twitter, YouTube, and then I will post my Discord. So I will wait until the DEF CON 201 group blesses me. So, yep. Okay. So 60, 59, 58. I really appreciate if you come hang out on Discord or follow me on YouTube or Twitter. It really makes a huge difference. And yeah, I'm falling asleep. So I'm gonna let's listen to that wonderful shutdown noise. Wonderful shutdown noise. Wonderful shutdown noise. I'm going to have to play with that and figure that one out. Okay, alright, I just saw that the raid command got used. So this is NCommander signing out, wishing you all a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.